Alright everybody, welcome back to the Southern Motorworks channel. Today it's oil change day for the old 430 over here. As you can see, we got our Mobil 1 full synthetic Euro formula and a nice man fleece filter on there. So we'll get started today, and this is going to be kind of a DIY video. I see a lot of folks, you know, people take their vehicles to all kind of lube shops and oil change shops and stuff like this and just spend unnecessary money on doing oil changes and everything. It's super simple, one of the simplest things you can do on a vehicle, besides maybe changing the wiper blades or something like that. So today we're going to be showing you kind of a step-by-step on this vehicle specifically, but I mean, the general rules will apply to, you know, any vehicle, just different locations of things like maybe oil filter, stuff like that. So but we're going to show you it's a really easy thing to do. You save yourself a little bit of money in this economy that we're in right now, and it's going to be so easy. Aiden's going to be doing most of it, actually. Yep. So without further ado, we'll get you started on the first step here. We'll get everything set up and get this oil change done. Alright, so first things first, we're going to be using the 13mm here to loosen the oil drain plug, get the old oil all drained out, and then we'll move top side to get the oil filter out. So first things first, we got our oil drain pan over here, and now Aiden's going to get up underneath there and loosen the oil drain plug. We'll get all that, well, probably 4-month-old oil drained out of there, 5-month-old, something like that, right? Yeah, we were still in Maine last time, so she's a little overdue. But we haven't been driving it a whole lot, so. Alright, so there you go. Sorry about all the extra noise in the background. It's been raining like cats and dogs here in the Panhandle since yesterday, nonstop. And it's supposed to go till tomorrow afternoon, I think. So if we wanted to get the oil change done, unfortunately, had no choice but to come out here in this, you know, unpleasant weather right now. So alright, we'll get you down in there so you can see what he's working on. Alright, so on these ML430s, ML320s, 500s, all that, the M112 and M13 series engine, the oil drain plug is going to be over on this side right here. So if you want to go ahead and start trying to bust that loose, we'll see if it's too tight for you or not. So don't bust your knuckles.
Yeah.
You can move wherever you need to, buddy.
Get on.
Need me to get you some extra light in there?
No, I can see it's just not going on the bolt.
Twist the socket a little bit.
Okay, good. Too tight.
So you want to make sure you got you some decent leverage here, so get her facing in her direction where you got some decent leverage. Try pushing up on it that way. Just pull it straight toward you. No?
Nope.
Alright, it's loose. Get you in here and we'll see. Don't take it out all the way. Go ahead and get that oil drain pan over there underneath it, bud. Move the creeper out of the way. Bring her this way here. Unfortunately, on these MLs, it likes to hit the subframe right in here and the friggin' sway bar, and then it just kind of pours all over the place. So we'll kind of manage that as best we can here. Don't drop my oil drain plug.
No problem,
Ready?
Yeah.
It's gonna start dripping when you get close.
Trying to grab the washer. Can't grab it.
There you go. Oh, it was close with that aim there, wasn't it? All right. So we'll let that sit there and drain for a little bit, and I'm gonna get him a rag, get all that old oil off, get the drain plug cleaned up and whatnot. But this will take a few minutes to sit there and drain. So in the meantime, while that's draining, we'll move topside and start undoing the oil filter housing. Now, on certain vehicles, sometimes it's going to be up on top like that. Some vehicles it's going to be underneath. The majority of American, Japanese vehicles, whatever, most of those are going to be on the bottom. But for some reason, a lot of the European vehicles are on top. Me personally, I prefer them topside. Some guys prefer to take them loose underneath. You know, it's hit and miss. It just depends on which vehicle, where the mounting is going to be at. But on all these Mercedes like this particular era anyway, it's all right up on top. So we'll show you what we're dealing with up there. All right, so what we're dealing with topside here, you can see is the oil filter housing is right in here. So we're going to be using a rubber pipe wrench. Now, I mean, you can have an oil filter wrench that fits on there exactly to fit the I think it's a 16 side around here like this. But personally, with different sizes and all this stuff like this, I just usually use a rubber strap wrench on it. It will fit on more than just one application, and it's just simple to use. I throw it in the back of the car, and you know, you're good to go. So we'll bust that out, and we'll get this oil filter housing loosened up here, and we'll show you the types of oil filters these M112, M113 engines use. All right, so we got our rubber strap wrench here. Now, how these work, you can just adjust the different sizes to accommodate, you know, whatever it is that you're working on. So I'm going to kind of get this set up for him a little bit, and then he's going to do the majority of the work here, loosening it and everything. And you just put it this way to loosen, and then when you get ready to put it back on, you flip it the opposite direction and tighten it. So it's pretty simple to use. But now come here and pull on that there, bud. All right, just that easy. These don't require a whole lot of torque. I think it's 25 Newton meters, which is not very much at all. You have to interweb search that, convert it to freedom units there. All right, so like I said, these M113, M112 series engines like this, they just have this fleece filter inside. The good fleece filter is what you really need to be using anyway. It's got several series of O-rings on it that we'll show you whenever we put the new one on there. But just unscrews and pulls right out the top like this. Okay, now when you get these out like this, the old oil filter, like I said, it's only held on there just by some pressure and the O-rings and stuff like that. So whenever you get the old one out, you're just going to pull it straight on out of here like this. See? It just lifts right out of there. And this will obviously get disposed of properly. And we'll put our new O-rings on the oil filter adapter here and slide our new one on, or well, Aiden will anyway. Alright, so what Aiden's going to be pulling out here, I'll show you. These little O-rings. You got one on the top here, one there, and then one around the actual rim where it seats around the oil filter housing on the vehicle. So what he's going to be doing, just pulling those out ever so gently. Alright. Oh, there's one. Yep, once you get it started like that, it'll just pop right out. You get the third one down. Watch your fingers. Buddy.
I can't.
Thank you. There you go. You can cut it if you need to. It don't matter.
Oh.
Just cut that sucker.
Yeah,
we're not using them. Yep, there you go. All right, so that's as easy as it is, just these 4 O-rings there. You can just cut them, you can pull them off, whichever way works best for you. So next, we are going to get the new oil filter out, and we'll get the O-rings put on the adapter, and we'll show you how that goes on there. And there's some little marks on the oil filter there that you got to make sure that you seat it down all the way, otherwise it won't be doing its job properly. So, and like I said, we got us a nice man fleece oil filter here. I highly recommend these fleece oil filters from straight from Germany. These are about the best quality you're going to get for these Mercedes engines like this here. So go ahead and open it up. Like I said, there's our new oil filter right there. You can see a nice fleece filter. I'll take that from you. And a whole new set of new O-rings. Now there is in these packs, there's an extra O-ring, and we'll show that one to you. There's 2 of them of the same size. We're going to disregard one of those. We actually don't need it. I'm assuming it's for a different series of engine or different series of vehicle or something like that, but we're going to leave that one out and about. I always just throw it in the back of the toolbox because you never know when you're going to need an extra O-ring for something, you know. So go ahead and open those O-rings up, Ada. And then you try not to drop them on the ground and get them covered in sand and stuff before we install them on the vehicle.
Like I said, my hands are all oily.
Alright, so like I said here, we got 4 different ones. Oh, actually this one didn't come with the extra one, did it?
Nope.
No? There wasn't the extra one in there? Huh. Oh. They must have changed the packaging up on me a little bit. Maybe I ought to be a liar, I guess. But usually there's 5 in there, and one of them is one that you don't actually use on these M113 engines, or at least not in this configuration on the 430. But evidently they must have changed the packaging up because it's only the 4 that we need now. So been doing them for years, and they've always had the 5 in there, so it's a little strange. But okay, so go ahead and let's get those installed on there. So he's going to be putting the very biggest one first down there on the very bottom. Like I said, that's where it seals against the oil filter housing on the vehicle itself. You don't need a pocket knife anymore, right?
No. I shouldn't.
So then next up is going to be the one that goes... Oop, I got you. Next up is going to be the one that goes in this section here. So it'll be the second one up from the bottom. And again, these are just rubber O-rings. They got some stretch to them, so you can just slide them right on down into the groove that you pulled the original one out of. Okay, so like I said, you got to make sure you get these in the same groove that you pulled them out of. As you can see, there's a groove there, and you don't want to go past it. So we got that fixed real quick there. Now he's going to be putting the third one down from the top.
So hard to actually get it in there. It's so small.
Well, that and your hands are oily, so here, I'll hold it up for you.
Wait.
You want me to do that one?
Yeah, I can't get it.
So as you can see, he was having a little bit of trouble with it. His hands are all oily and stuff, so it's a little slippery, but what we're going for is that groove right there. So what I usually do is just pull them on either side, pop it right down into there, and you're good to go. We'll hand it back to him again. He can do the final one there on the very tip top.
I can't even do that one.
Got it?
Yep.
Alright, so this is what it should look like when you're done. As you can see, you've got the one at the very top, one underneath it there, third one down, and the fourth one. Alright, so the next thing we're going to be doing is installing the oil filter. And see, there's 2 little black marks here, and you want to make sure that you get that seated down to a certain level here. So it's just gonna, we're going to be sliding it straight down the top like that. You got it, buddy? And she'll seat a little. It's a little tough to get it past this particular O-ring, and then you just kind of give it a little bit there. I'll show you here, hand the camera off to him. So you're gonna wanna just kind of twist it a little bit, and you shouldn't see that first black mark that's on there. You should only be able to see the second one. Whenever you get it down that far, I just usually give her a little twist, and that'll make sure that it's seated 100%. That's what it should look like along the top edge there. So the very top O-ring, the second one down, the third one down, should be able to be seen, and it should be seated all the way down in there. Now we're going to go ahead and get it ready to put it back in the vehicle. Now some folks will tell you not to put any sort of lube or oil or anything on the O-rings. I don't know, my father always taught me to lube them up a little bit with some of the used oil, just a little dab on your finger. It's always worked for me, 20-something years turning wrenches on cars, and never had a problem, so I continue the practice. Just get a little bit of used oil on your finger and just kind of smear it around the outside edge on these O-rings. That's all you need, just a little dab, just so they're not going in there 100% dry or anything like that. Alright, oil filter seated, and so we're just going to push it right back down in there, screw it down. That's all there is to it. Now you will have to wipe the cap off a little bit. That's the only thing with these rubber strap wrenches. If there's any sort of oil or anything like that on the surface of them, they really don't like to bite. So you may have to, you know, just maybe spray a little bit of brake parts cleaner on it or something, wipe it off. But in all honesty, you can usually get it pretty darn tight. Just tighten it with your hand. Again, it's only 25 Newton meters is all you need. So we are going to flip our rubber strap wrench the opposite direction now and give her just a little squeeze. As you can see, it's not going to move a whole lot here. That's all you need. You can feel it bottom out. That's all you need. It doesn't have to be super tight. Don't need 47 ugga-duggas on it, and you're all set. From the top side, we are good to go. Alright, so now that we've got the new oil filter in with new O-rings and everything, I'm going to hand it back off to Aiden. He's going to go ahead and reinstall our oil drain plug. So we'll get you down there so you can see that. We should be plenty done draining underneath, and we'll get the oil drain plug reinstalled and come back up topside to fill it up. So what he's going to be doing here is just reinstalling this oil drain plug. As you can see, that's our hole in the drain pan right there. We're down to just a slow drip. So let him reinstall that. Other way, bud.
Oh.
Yep. Righty tighty, lefty loosey.
Yeah.
We don't need any of nature's Loctite, you know, cross threads. Oh, you can run it down a lot further than that, bud, before you go to the socket. You got her tight? Just give her just a little tug. Just a little, one ugga-dugga is all you need. All right. Let me see. I'm just gonna. Yep, that's all you need. With an oil drain plug like that, you don't need a whole lot of torque on it. You know, I've done oil changes on other people's vehicles and stuff like that, and you go to pull that oil drain plug on there, and goodness, it's like they put it on with an impact or something, you know. you just run it down finger tight to where it's snug, and then I usually give it about 1/4 turn after that, if that. I mean, that's plenty. It's usually got a copper washer on there of some sort or something like that, but 1/4 turn after tight is really all you need on an oil drain plug. Alright, so we're back topside. We're going to go on ahead and get the new oil poured into it here, and open up our oil filler cap. Alright, so the old Mercedes here gets nothing but the best. Mobil 1 Euro car formula, 0W40 is what Mercedes-Benz calls for. And most importantly, if you look on the very back of it here, it meets the Mercedes-Benz spec 229.3 and 229.5. You got to make sure your oil that you're using in here. Some folks will tell you that it doesn't matter. I'll tell you, those folks are probably crazy, and that's just me. But you got to make sure your oil meets the proper spec to go in your vehicles. Every manufacturer has a certain spec that they use. You can look it up depending on what your vehicle is. Every manufacturer's got a certain spec that they use for oil that's approved for that particular engine, that particular set of vehicles, whatever. So for these M112, M113 engines, we always make sure that the back side of it there says approved, Mercedes-Benz approved for 229.3 and 229.5. All right. You want me to do this part since the truck's way up in the air?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'll do this part because the truck's way up in the air like this, and we'll get her all added in there. All right. So even I am not talented enough to pour it from this height and not spill. So we're going to use our makeshift funnel that we just cut up here. You'll notice you can never find a funnel whenever you need one. If you weren't doing an oil change, you'd find 15 funnels over here on the shop or something like that. But, you know, we're still a little disorganized around here, okay? We're still working on getting the shop built, all right? So makeshift funnel comes in a pinch. Alright, so on these M112, M113 series engines, the oil capacity is going to be 8.5 quarts, 8.5 US quarts. So you buy two of these big 5+ quart jugs like this, and you'll end up with 1.5 quart left in one of them. I always just throw it in the back of the truck. You never know, we're going to need a little bit extra oil. These M112s and M113s do seem to consume a little bit of oil, not a lot. It doesn't smoke out of the exhaust really or anything like that. Whenever we were pulling up, that was steam, because as you can see, it is humid as all get out here right now. So there's a lot of humidity in the exhaust that steams off whenever you crank her up. But so yeah, two of these 5 quart jugs will do you. You should have about 1.5 quart left over afterwards of extra oil. So then we're going to go ahead and finish getting cleaned up, get our oil put in containers so we can get that disposed of properly, and we'll get ready to wrap this oil change up. Now this old motor oil, you can take this stuff to, you know, any of your local parts stores, O'Reilly's, AutoZone, Advance, CarQuest, something like that, Napa, and just about all of them have disposal for used motor oil like that. They usually have a big old tank in the back. You'll take it back there and just pour it on in, and then they dispose of it from there. So make sure you dispose of your used oil properly. Don't be pouring it into the ground or anything like that. Horrible for the environment, all right? Alright, now what I like to do while we got it running, going for the oil change and everything, I like to check all my regular fluids, top it off, your brake fluid, your transmission fluid if you got a dipstick for that, power steering fluid, coolant, the whole nine, and just double check, make sure everything's going good. But I know for a fact all that stuff's good. I usually check that stuff, you know, at least once a week on my vehicle, and I've checked it whenever we pulled it in, so that's all good to go. But just in case, you need to know where stuff is at on these M113s, M112s. Power steering right down here. Get a little extra light. Power steering pump right in there. Top that off. Oil dipstick right there. Coolant level at the top back there, obviously. Make sure that's all good. Your brake fluid's over here in the corner. And transmission check tube, if you have a dipstick for it, is over there. These Mercedes like this, they have it doesn't actually leave the transmission dipstick in the vehicle. It's one that you stick it in, check the fluid level, and then pull it back out. But I have one in the shop, but I know that's good to go on that transmission fluid, so I'm not worried about it at the moment right now. But it's something you should definitely purchase if you have one of these vehicles, so you can keep an eye on the fluid levels and whatnot. So, but everything's good to go. There should be another oil change in the books. We keep her going for another 160,000 miles. So you can go on in there and give her a couple wraps on the old throttle. Never mind the steam coming out of the exhaust. Yeah, there you go. All right, another one in the books. So we got more content coming soon. Got some big projects coming for the Volvo XC70 over here. So the weather wasn't cooperating. We were supposed to do that today, but you know, it is what it is. We'll work on it this week, and that video should be coming out hopefully maybe next weekend, something like that. So some big projects for that one. Maybe a little change in attitude on her, if you get what I'm saying. All right, so we'll see y'all on the next one. I appreciate you appreciate y'all hanging out, checking out the content with us and whatnot. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, y'all have a good one out there.